me turn this up. Ah, there we go. Like I said, I got my Franklin Trash shirt on tonight. Here I go again. Hey, man, let me see if this is all the way up. Oh, boy. There we go. That's better. That's better. Let's see. Turn that up a little bit. I get no yellow lights. What's going on? Test. Oh, boy. There they are. All right, folks. Here we go. All right. Back to the camo, the deer hunting, and this and that, and all the hype. And just like I said, now, I'm going to show y'all something. Um, I got this in the mail the other day. Yesterday. Okay. Now, I put it on some of my clothes. And there's a how did I get in there? Whoever put that lid on there, he's got brown hair. I put that on some of my clothes. Okay. Now, I had to order this, couldn't find it nowhere around here. You can get Sport Wash, which is what I use with no UV brighteners. But to me, the jury is still out on UV rays. Okay. And if you haven't seen my first video I done a few days ago, go back and look at it. I got the black light out again. We're going to go back there. Now, I have got the people that print my camouflage, and I'm waiting on another pattern that they're working on. I'm waiting for that to come in, and then I'll make my jackets, shirts, or whatever. But what I done, I didn't even count them. Okay, I've got a whole bunch of swatches here. Okay, and as you can see, they've all got the name of what they are, what kind of material it is. There's a quilt cotton, stretch chiffon. There's a micro suede, which is really nice. It's kind of thick, and I can do something with that later on in the season. Okay, there's something special about these that I'm going to show you. Now, one of my shirts that I made is made out of this twin velvet. And man, it's nice and soft. It's got some stretch to it, which I like. But boy, it's like wrestling a bear sewing it. It walks all over itself. But it is very, very nice material. I've never used the micro suede. I'm going to do that. I got plans for later on in the year for that. And then I got some in this envelope that I have had clothes made out of. And you know, some of this UV thing, I just dove into this. I've known about it for buku years. You know, how deer see UV rays? Do deer see UV rays? To me, there's just as much controversy there as there are with colors. I made a color chart up here I want to get into. I made my own, and I've got the one that I printed off of from Google. Now, like I said, I am not totally against all the science that's been done. It's been a remarkable amount of science. Go here on YouTube. Here I go. About 10:30 around here. But tomorrow morning's first day of bow season, and I'm gonna go try to take me a doe in the morning. Ain't buck hunting yet. I don't want to get these mixed up. But now, let me see here. I have got, okay. Do I have, I'm trying to find the ones, here we go, that I have already had camouflage made out of. Not that one. Okay, now y'all bear with me, man. You know, topics like this, you just don't want to blow through them. Is that the one I had? Yeah, I think it is. I think so. All right, no, it's this one. Now, all right, I'm getting them. Hang on there, bear with me. There's so many things that's unsettled folks about this deer hunting business. And here's something I got. Here's something that nobody can answer. Okay. Okay. The biologists say deer can see shortwave UV rays, and they're the ones that give off the most energy. And I went over this in my last video. However, according to Google, the shortwave UV don't even reach the Earth. UVC doesn't even make it to the Earth. It's gobbled up in the atmosphere. And I also Googled, well, does trees and leaves give off UV rays? And for the most part, no. If they did, it would be very, very little. If they did. Okay. But the sky gives off UV rays. And the deer can see, supposedly, the deer can see them UV rays from the blue sky. And they can see that's blue. That's perceived as blue, a bright blue, or a sky has a blue hue to them. We don't know how bright it is to the deer. We don't know how dim it is to the deer. Okay, but they have to see blue to distinguish their forage leaves from the sky. Otherwise, they'd be going, just grabbing and hoping they grab a leaf. Okay. And like I said before, my thought process is optical illusion. Now, I took this UV killer and I put it on some of my clothes that it's either light reflection from the color or it's UV. Okay, I'm going with both. Okay, because of my one jacket, I brought it with me, it lights up like a Christmas tree. Okay, I sprayed some of the UV on it, and it did tone it down. But it's still got somewhat of a shine to it. Okay, can somebody tell me, is that since I used the UV killer? And I done what the instructions said. The only thing I didn't do was wash the clothes in a non-UV detergent. Already done that. Okay, sprayed, saturated. I had rubber gloves on. I rubbed it all in. Okay. It dulled it some. Okay. But this was what is that? 18 ounces for $18, $16, whatever it was, 16, $18. And I've already used a little, maybe half of it on a jacket and a shirt that I'm going to show you here in a minute. So I ain't doing it. So what I have done, though, is I discovered with the black light, okay, some of my material throws out UVs, some of it don't. So now this new camouflage I'm having made, okay, the material is UV dead, and I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. Okay, I don't want to mix these up right here. Let me put these back in. Okay, but here's what I'm getting at, folks. Let's just say that deer do see UV rays, and I'm leaning toward they do. Okay, but it's got to be UVA and UVB. Okay, because UVC gets eaten up by the atmosphere. So it can't be UVC, which some of the researchers say that they see the shortest UV rays. The shortest UV rays get gobbled up by the atmosphere, according to my research. Okay, so it has to be UVA and UVB, or one or the other, or both, if they see UV rays. Okay, which gives off a blue hue. I don't have no problem with that. Oh, that's your arch enemy hunting on the ground for sure. Is blue. Okay. And deer will see it. Okay, and out of their supposedly yellow sight vision spectrum, their yellow hue, that blue will stand out like a sore thumb. Absolutely. But you take that blue from the ground and put it up to the sky, you put it up in a tree, blue's blue, Jack. It may be lighter, it may be darker, but you got cloud cover, you got some dark gray clouds that look bluish, you got all this going on up here. Blue is blue. Now, here's my question. What happens? Okay, I'm totally convinced. I made my own little eye chart here. Let's go back to the eye charts. Okay. Now, I'm giving this is the scientific from all the research. Okay, that these scientists and laboratories and everybody and their brother with resources has done. Okay. Now, that's kind of bent. This is the deer's world right here. This is our world right here. Okay, now, in my mind, okay, this is the only thing you can do to break up your outline because everything else is over here. So if you want to break up your outline, you got to go over here. Now, some of the research says they see orange, hunter orange, maybe as a brownish color, maybe a darker brown, maybe a light brown. So I went to Google again, and Google goes to the experts when you ask it a question. Now, here was my question. Okay, what color does a deer see if it sees red, if it sees green, and if it sees orange, if it sees black, if it sees blue, and if it sees yellow? Okay, right here is my own little chart. Okay, you got that? Okay, red, yellow, red, green, and orange, the experts say will show up as gray shades or yellow hue and maybe a brown hue. It's not written in stone, deer hunters, what these deer actually see. The research is, I think they're close. I think they've got some things right, but it's not in my mind. All this UV and color stuff ain't settled. And black, a deer will see a dark color, not black. Maybe a dark gray. Could be a purple. And then blue and yellow. Okay, blue, they see blue. Yellow, they see yellow. A grayish yellow or a yellow. Okay. Then we're going to go back to this chart. Now, if all this is settled science, what colors are you going to use in your camouflage to break up your outline? Give me your comments. I want to know what you think about it. Okay, I want to know what colors, if you sat down and designed your own camouflage like I've been doing since 2008, and I took a big long break, and I've just come back to it in the last, I don't know, in the last year since I run across some people that print my material. Okay, it's all about, we know for a fact the science is settled on a deer can silhouette you. There's no doubt about that. A deer can silhouette you. Okay, and we know hunting out of a tree gives you advantages. Hunting out of a tree. So if you're going to hunt out of a tree, okay, what colors are you going to use to break up your outline? And that leads to this. Okay, we got to go to these colors. Dark, that's a gray. You can go to a dark gray or a purple. But that only leaves you this right here. To actually break up your color, break up your outline. Or hunter orange. You can throw hunter orange in there on this spectrum, but it's going to show up dark, something dark. They really don't know. That's guess. That's an educated guess, but it's still a guess. You know, you can throw some black in there. Okay, you can use all these colors, and you can use a dark red or a red, or you can use a black or hunter orange. You can add them to this. Okay, but now the question is, what about your UV rays? Oh my gosh. Dear see UV rays. Oh my gosh. You can't wear them colors. You'll stick out like a sore thumb. Folks, I'm telling you. Number one, I don't care what you have on. If you get caught moving, they're going to look that way. And when they look that way, what they see determines whether you get that shot or you don't get that shot. Okay. If it's in the middle of the winter, nothing on the trees, and they look up there and they see a big yellow blob, and they know good and well that there ain't supposed to be no leaves on the trees in the wintertime, that big yellow blob don't belong up there. You're busted. Okay. Now, here's another question. Okay. You stay UV rays. Okay. Apparently, let's go with the science. Apparently, leaves don't give off UV rays, right? Okay. So, what you got to do? You got to have your camouflage printed on material don't give off UV rays, right? That will help you with the yellow hue that they see. Okay? If your yellow is dead on your camouflage, or your green for that matter, is dead on your camouflage, you're good. Okay? But now, what's your blue look like with no UV rays to a deer? Okay, what does that look like to a deer? They know the sky gives off UV rays, and here's the same color, okay, but it's dead. There's no UV rays. And the same thing could go for orange or red, or any other color that gives off UV rays. So it ain't settled. The deal ain't settled in my mind. But I know for a fact, you can see that jacket hanging behind me. Okay. And you've seen my original camouflage. I sprayed some of it just for show and tell down the basement. It's still wet with the UV killer. How much UV is too much? Is no UV? Now we're talking about tree stand honey. Is no UV in any of your colors? Is that okay? Or do you have to have a little bit of UV here and there in your camouflage? If you go, say, for blue, for instance, do you want to really kill all the UV in your blue colors? Because it's all about breaking up your outline. I think that that's the most important thing. Breaking up your outline and not getting caught moving is your two main things. Because we don't know exactly how much UV rays, not enough UV rays, no UV rays, how much really affects the deer in their eyesight. That's, some people say you shouldn't have none. Some people say a little bit's okay. Some people say any amount is no good. Although I got killer camouflage that I had made in 2008. I should have brought it with me, I guess. But even though I have that, and it's remarkable, I'm always on the quest to get this perfect, most perfect camouflage that I can get. But I'm gonna tell you what my opinion is. I watched videos where a guy compared 48 different camo patterns. I didn't even know there's 48 different camo patterns out there. All kinds, you name it, it's out there and they're still producing it. Okay. I don't have the money to produce what I do commercial, but I can't get, even if I did, I can't get past the brainwash that is taking place in the deer hunting community. I can't get through that barrier for anybody to understand, okay, that it's one of the best colors you can integrate into a camouflage or even a gray. There was a advantage out there years ago that looked some like it was open pattern, big patches. It wasn't. It was just patches of different colors, and it had big patches of gray in it. To me, man, that's the cat's meow right there. You have to have something to break up that outline. So let me fire up my black light. Let me show y'all something. And I'm going to saturate one of them with this right here. And let's see if it really works. So hold on a minute. All right. Now, I'm going to show you this again. This right here. That baby is UV dead. Oh, I wish that light is. Look at that. Oh, but that's white. They see white. Ooh, oh, ooh. I can hear it now. Okay, let me find this swatch. Let me sit down here and find the swatch that they sent me. Okay, it's right there. This is what that shirt's made out of. It's called Twin Velvet. Man, it's nice. Okay, let me show you something. I'll have to, well, I'll probably hold it up here and show you. Let me get my black light on. Turn that light out. All right. It was shining off my shirt. Okay, let me turn this camera down, folks. Let me turn this down so you see what I'm doing. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt. Bear with me, folks. Trying to Everybody's trying to learn something. I've got to get it away from all this white stuff. All right. See that in that chair? There. All right. Now this is blue. Okay. All right. And this is it. I don't know why that camera, it looks so different where I'm at than in that camera. Here, let's put it beside this one. You can definitely see the difference. You can see what I'm talking about now, I guarantee you. Come on, Kim. Okay. All right. See this? Let me move it. Let me move it over here. Dang it. Stay where I put you, camera. All right. See the difference? Now we can see the difference. See there? All right. Put it over this way so the orange won't show up. That's UV dead, man. All of the light you see there is what's bouncing back off of the cloth. Look at this. This is eat up with UV rays. Okay. Then the fleece. Look at this fleece. Okay. That's full of UV. Look at that, like that right there. This is UV dead. I've got camouflage made out of this. I got camouflage made out of this. Now, here's the question. If I would have thought of this before I had any of that made, I would have went all with this. But would that have been right? Would that have been the absolutely way to go? Now, the camouflage I got coming is going to be 4-ounce cotton. This. UV dead. There's no UV in that whatsoever. No UV in that whatsoever. I've got half of my swatches with different material look like this. The other half looks like this. Now, your convention, today's deer hunter will say, absolutely go with these. Okay. I'm trying to break up my outline. I'm using blue. And I've noticed no UV in it. Is that the right thing to do? When the deer looks up and sees me and it sees no UV on my blue, what does it really see? Who knows? Okay. Now, back to this. I mean, look here. All these I've got. So get the light on it just right. Is that the right pile? That's the wrong pile. Oh, micro suede. There we go. This gotta get the light just right. There's them. Okay. There we go. Look. You see the difference? This is going to be my next camo project with this material. It's UV dead. Buku UV. Is that the right thing to do? Okay, this shirt all you're seeing on this shirt here is just a reflection of the blue light. And this camera does crazy things. It's just bouncing off of it, is all it is. Okay. All right. This, back to my other jacket. Look at that. Man, that thing, look at it. I saturated this with UV killer. Okay. And put it up here. There, it shows up better that way. I saturated this with UV killer. Matter of fact, it's still a little damp. Does the UV killer work? I think it does. Let's see, there's a swatch. I know it does. See, look, this is untreated, same material. Okay, this is untreated. This is what I made this jacket out of. Look at the difference in that. Okay, UV, all kind of UVs out of that. Now, there's no UV in this ink. Okay, it's the material. Okay, now look how dull it is. Will that make this camouflage here better? I don't know. I have killed deer in this right here. So, you know, I just, in my mind, they flipped a lot. Oh, here's another. Hold on a minute, folks. Here's one of my other shirts. Now, this shirt here is made with this. That's my swatch right there. Look how that sticks out. Okay, this shirt is made with this swatch. Okay, I saturated this with UV killer. Okay, I really believe the UV killer works because look how bright that is. Compared to it's blue, it looks white on this camera, but you're looking at it, it looks white, but if you look down in here, that's the actual color of the white. Under this black light, it's blue. But and it's really a very light blue under regular light. UV killer does work. Okay. And this is proof right here that it does work. All right. But is this the right amount of UV? Or is this the right amount of UV? Or is no UV the right amount? Folks, the science is still out on it. And there's a swatch. That's a swatch where the UV dead. Okay. That's UV dead right there. What you see is the light reflecting off of it. So, and I've got several different. Oh, well, I was going to show you this. Light back out. Light back out. Okay. Man, I don't want to get these mixed up. Now, here's a piece of material that this shirt's made out of. Okay. Leave that right for this here is untreated. Okay. Can you see the difference in it? The white is brilliant white. Okay, this here, and it's, you know, you can see the difference. What I'm getting at, folks, And my main thing behind all this is there is still, let me move all this crap so I can sit down. Now, baby. There is still so much that we don't understand about the way deer sees things. Okay. And, man, I don't want to get these mixed up. And, in my mind, it's not completely settled science. Okay. I've found so many contradictions in this, but I do know this for a fact. And like I said in my last video, hunting, fishing, and golf, there's more gimmicks, more marketing gimmicks, bold-faced lies, and manipulating the public in those three things, sports-wise, than anything else on the planet. Okay. Your number one camouflage, and a lot of people don't realize this, but your number one camouflage had been more deer killed in a flannel shirt and blue jeans in a tree or on the ground or otherwise. Camouflage is more or less a gimmick, a big lie. But you need something to break up the outline. One of the biggest deer that I almost got a shot at right under me, probably 15 foot under me. I was drawn back on him, big 9-pointer. I'd shot at him before, and the arrow, I miscalculated, used the wrong pin, the arrow hit right under his front foot. But I seen him so many times I couldn't get a shot on him. And every time I seen this big buck, sooner or later, this little 6-pointer would show up. This little 6-pointer trailed him everywhere he went. Well, this one particular day, I'm sitting on a board, jammed in a tree, about 15 foot off the ground. And here comes that big old fuzzy thing. He looked like he had hair on him that long. Big old massive 9-pointer. Come right under me. I start drawing back, and all of a sudden I hear a stick break. That deer didn't flinch, and choom, he's gone. So I'm just so bummed out, man. I'm tore up. Here comes that little 6-pointer. Coming right up the way he come in and stopped dead underneath me. Well, I fixed his wagon. I put one right in his spine for him. He got what he deserved. And you know what I was wearing? Blue jeans and a red and black flannel shirt. Washed and probably tied. So, folks, if you've never deer hunted and you think you want to deer hunt, do a whole lot of studying, a whole lot of thinking before you go out and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on camo. Some works better than others. I do agree with that. A lot of your camos it's UV dead when you buy it. A lot of it ain't. But folks, it's. I still think it boils down to breaking up your outline. Okay, that's what it boils down to. No matter what colors you use, no matter what you think, no matter how hard you studied, it boils down to two things: breaking up your outline and don't get caught moving. And then when you do get caught moving, if you do get caught moving, then you'll find out how good your camouflage is. And I know mine's pretty darn good. I've had them jump, bounce off, and they come back and they're looking. And they're looking. They come back and they're looking. They walk right back to me and I whack them. Okay. But my stuff ain't for sale. So, and it's the simple reason is my concept is not for sale. Unless you got a buku, I'll sell you that whole thing, copyrights and everything. If you got enough money. But see, there's two things I don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about nobody stealing my pattern. And well, there's one main thing. There's the deer hunters out there so brainwashed, they'll never steal my pattern. If you do, I sue the crap out of you because it's copyrighted. So, folks, that's about all I want to tell you. Don't fall for all the hype. But if you want, and I don't get nothing from these people. I don't get a thing from whoever makes this. I don't even know who makes it. At ATSKO, at SCO. I get nothing from these people. But I can tell you, okay, it's expensive, but the product does work. Okay. But now, how much UV do you want to kill? How much do you want to leave in there? That's the question. So, like I said, folks, I'm going to go back to this. You think your camouflage that you spend all that money on, and I still wear some, I wear the pants. I wear Realtree pants. And I wear mossy oak pants. But that right there is what I wear to the woods on the top. I ain't worried about the bottom getting caught moving. It's the top that's going to get you busted. That's where you move. And 95% of your movement. But, the top, I've got some kind of camouflage on. But look at this chart. You can print this like I did. This is on photograph paper. You think your camouflage looks so good to that deer, it's just awesome. I got the best off the rack camouflage. Oh, nobody can see it. Not even the deer. Do your research, folks. See what you come up with. Okay? But it's like I said, what are you going to use to break this up in the deer's world? This yellow. What are you going to use? What makes sense? Come on, we're talking common sense here, people. This ain't freaking rocket science. This ain't even laboratory science. Okay? beyond this, I can take this, and if this is true, I can take my common sense that God give me and design a camouflage that will outdo anything hanging on the rack in any store. And I'm convinced of that. I'm totally convinced of it. All right, hey, I wrapped it up. I showed you what I want to show you for tonight. It's getting late. I got to go to bed. Like I said, I'm going to get up in the morning and go do me some meat hunting. Leave your comments, questions. You know, if you're one of them experts out there, I want to hear your explanation for why you think what you think. That's, you know, I want a dialogue, man. I don't want arguments. Like I said, that's why I stay off of Arrow Slinger, and even if that's still out there, or some of the other bow hunting sites, you get more arguments than you do honest debate. I ain't fooling with all that immature bullcrap. Okay, I'm too old for that. Okay, but I will sit and talk deer hunting all week long with anybody, but it's got to be from a common sense, scientific point of view, not a closed-minded. Could you, if you take all this and the UV ray stuff, that I've got here, if you take all this as settled, written in stone, no debate left in it, it's settled. If you take that approach with what science is out there, I don't want to talk to you. I absolutely don't even want no dialogue with you. But I'll listen to why you think you think that way. I'll listen to that, but I'm not arguing with you about it. It's not written in stone. It's good science. I commend all these people. My hat's off to them. I'm glad they did it. It does give us an idea. It gives us an inkling. It gives us a starting point to the ultimate greatest camouflage ever made. A jumping off point to strive for that. The greatest camo ever made. And I'm working on it, baby. And I'm legally protecting myself too through my copyright. Okay, but you know, like I said, I'm up against a brick wall because everybody's been brainwashed. There ain't a handful of open-minded deer hunters out there. You know, 1 year, especially two years, and you killed a deer, son, you're an expert. Oh my God, can't tell you nothing. I've run into thousands of them. So this Les Gamo, tell me what you think. Tell me where I'm wrong. I love you. God bless you. Jesus loves you. And until next time, this is Les Gamo, baby. I'm out.